Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce coming to you today from Coppers Cove, Texas. And like I said, this is episode 68, DOJ Comes After Texas. Thank y'all for tuning in. Wow. Okay, so yesterday, I forgot the legalese part. Well, not legalese, but the reminder. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the JP8 Report here on Rumble or Podbean or YouTube. And on Saturdays, usually at 10 o'clock, we do a live only on Rumble. You're welcome to tune in. And we really appreciate the people who do tune in, and you're able to call in and talk to me if you want. I'm planning to do some interviews. One guy asked me to, Mr. Tipton, he's running for Railroad Commission. I know he wants me to interview him too, so we could do that on a Saturday. How about if I look up when I'm doing this? So that'd be cool too. So yesterday, the Department of Justice went ahead and they filed suit against the state of Texas for a redistricting process that we went through. They claim it was a violation of Section 2 of the Voters' Rights Act. I'll tell you what, this is what I'm going to read to you what they said. It was from the Associate Attorney General. This is not the first time that Texas has acted to minimize the Voting Rights Act of its minority citizens. This from Associate Attorney General Vinita Gupta. Decade after decade, courts have found that Texas has enacted redistricting plans that deliberately dilute the voting strength of Latino and Black voters, and that is a violation of the Voting Rights Act. Okay, she can say what she wants. I'll tell you this: the history of redistricting in Texas. The Republicans in Texas, throughout history, ever since Reconstruction, all the way through the 2000 census, that's almost 130 years, was all done by Democrats. Like it or not, all the way 1880, 1890, 1900, all the way there, all the way. Republicans were never in the majority in the legislature until 2003. Okay, that means Democrats ran everything. Their machine ran everything. That means they drew the lines exactly how they wanted for decades. And the moment the Republicans were able to draw their own maps, now the Democrats are all upset because the tide turned against them, and they got, like I say, they got butt hurt because now they can't get Democrat seats back. And we didn't divide them along minority lines. We divided them from political lines. Okay, only political lines. I guess the Democrats want to play the race card whenever and wherever they can, so they can play that little game all they want and stuff. But if you look at it, it's Republicans, and the suit wasn't brought on because of the dilution of the black vote in House seats. Okay, they said it was brought on with the Association of LULAC, okay, League of Latin American people. I forgot what LULAC stands for, but it's a Democrat-led civil rights organization for Latin Americans here in Texas. Okay. What they fail to say is Latinos are becoming conservative at more of a rate than blacks are. Okay? That means we're gaining Republicans in Texas, not losing Republicans in Texas. But the Democrats want you to believe that everything's race-based, and it's not. The Republicans stand for fairness, equal opportunity, low taxes, less government, pro-life, pro-U.S. Constitution, and definitely pro-2A. So, the first time the Republicans were able to do redistricting was in 2011, after the 2010 census. And then again this year, after the 2020 census. But they want you to make it believe that the Republicans have been in charge of it forever. And just saying, in 2013, I think it was, we were sued by the Obama-Biden administration. And this year, we are being sued by the Biden-Harris administration. What gives? What will it take? What will it take? Oh, they'll never be satisfied until Texas is blue. That's the deal. Eric Holder and his stupid group of people that are going out suing all these Republican states during redistricting because they believe everything should be blue again. Well, you know what? Democrat ideals are done. American people don't want this nonsense running through our country, the CRT stuff, the welfare state stuff, the high taxes stuff, the inflation stuff, let's be embarrassed by everybody in the world stuff. You name it, we got it. And see, like it or not, if you look at what stuff that Republicans have been doing here in Texas, we've been setting the standard. The more people want to have more stuff done in our state than others. I mean, like Samsung just signed a $17 billion semiconductor deal with the state of Texas and moved to Taylor. Tesla, not only did they build a gig factory here in Texas, they moved their headquarters. California lost big time. Texas Instruments building a huge semiconductor plant. We got more and more stuff happening. SpaceX is here. They test their rockets up in McGregor all the time. If you notice these rocket launches, I don't know who it was, Richard Branson. He launched his rocket, the first civilian rocket launch, first civilian astronauts launch. He launched it in Texas. Pretty cool. If you're in a liberal state, you're going to continue to lose, and us people like Texas and Florida and the rest of the southern states, the open states, are going to be able to reap what they sow. You want to come down hard on your citizens, they're just going to leave. The business is going to leave. Your tax base is going to drop. And we're just going to get more and more better here in Texas. I mean, they even make TV shows about Texas. I mean, not only Dallas, but, I don't know. But just look at your history, and you got people that will insinuate that Republicans are at fault at everything, but it's the Democrats until recent history that were in charge of our state. We took charge of the state Senate in, I believe, 1996. And in 2002, we won the House. So it's been less than 20 years since Republicans have been in charge. And the Democrats are intent on destroying everything. They've left the state twice. This last summer, they did it twice in itself. So really 3 times. They should have all been arrested and barred. We need to do something about that. In the future, if you break quorum and leave the state during the legislature, your pay should stop. And you should be able to surrender your office. But that'll take a constitutional amendment in Texas. So I don't know what we'd have to do. Even the Supreme Court a few years ago says it is the responsibility of the state legislature to draw the boundaries for offices inside their state. So our state legislature is in charge of the State Board of Education, the State Senate, the State House, and the U.S. congressional seats. That's their job, not a commission, and definitely not the courts. The courts need to stay out of it. If it's not in the Constitution, it shouldn't even be heard. It's a state responsibility. And I'll put it to you like this. If you don't like how the boundaries are drawn, win elections. Because you did it to us for 130 years. And now we're finally in charge. Now you're all upset because you did it worse than we did. You prevented Republicans from being elected for decades. Decades. You're mud in your eye. Stay out of our business. We're here to protect the people in Texas. Y'all can go away because you don't care. All you want to be subservients to the federal government and let them run everything from our elections to everything. Elections and education to everything. And just stomp on us. We're Texans. We're independent-minded. We're here to stay. And the only way we're going to guarantee that, we get fellow Republicans out there that don't get complacent about what's going on in our state, in our congressional districts, in our state districts, and get out there and vote. Like today. The day from 7 to 7 is the final election day here in Copper's Cove. We have a good conservative running. He's trying to win. His name is Scott Ramaya. He's running for city council in Copper's Cove, right? We had early voting last week. Take a wild guess how many people actually went out and voted last week. Out of approximately 20,000 registered voters, 259. So what kind of turnout that is? That's about 1.3% turnout for a runoff. The difference between independent-leaning Democrat and a Republican. And I'll go as far as to say there's no independent-leaning Democrat. He's a Democrat. Scott is a Republican. We got about 1.3% turnout. And we think that's an accomplishment. It's not. To win elections, you got to get out there and vote. You cannot wait for people just to dream up victories. You got to get out there and make it happen. I mean, people complain about how we redistricted our seats. Look what's happening in California, Illinois, and New York. Adam Kitzinger, the guy that doesn't like President Trump, he got redistricted out of an office. In January next year, his seat would no longer exist, and he decided he ain't going to run for office anymore. California, last night, Devin Nunes, a great Republican, decided he's not going to run for re-election. He's going to go to work for President Trump and his media empire. Because when they did redistricting in California, they made his district less Republican and more Democrat. So I guess he saw the writing on the wall, said, I'm probably going to lose. Let's go out on top. That's how it happens. So it may happen here in Texas, but it happens in all other states. And just because we're in the South, They want to pin it against Texans, but they don't want to draw out what's going on in these Democrat states where they're squeezing Republicans out of their seats. All's fair in love and war. And we're at war, and we're going to win. So if you don't like it, win elections. Okay? Until then, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Let's see. Another thing I want to talk about was Title 42 is back in effect. A federal judge gave the Biden administration no chance, no choice, no options. The Remain in Mexico policy must be because it's federal law under Title 42. You must enforce the law. That means sending people back to Mexico. We have to strengthen the border. The illegal immigration is out of control, whether you like it or not. In the month of October through the end of November, the Customs and Border Patrol reported that 100,000 people, that's 100,000, 100,000 people got away. And their definition of gotaways were people they saw on camera that they were not interdicted by the Customs Border Enforcement. That is a lot. That's the size of Killeen, the city right next to where I live at, or 3 times the size of Copper's Cove. And usually you get people that cross the border, go to CBP, go to ICE, and turn themselves in. These people weren't even stopped. So we got 100,000 unvetted, untested people running around our country just from that time period. What are they doing? Are they drug dealers? Are they terrorists? What are they? Are they just farm workers or construction guys? We just don't know. And I fault the Biden administration on that. I'm glad that federal judge stepped up and said, put it back into effect. Because we got to get some resemblance of authority back on the southern border. But if you hear Al Bongino says, he calls her a peppermint patty. They don't care. You just listen to her press conferences in the afternoon when she's talking about the president's agenda. They don't care. They just want open borders. And inside the BBB, they're trying to do amnesty for 4.5 million illegal aliens in our country. It's wrong. It's wrong. But they're going to break the law and they're going to say, oh, you can just stay here. In Houston, there was a undercover ring that was just blasted for making fake IDs for illegal aliens. Why? That should be a federal offense. Why is it taking state officials, state police, using all their resources to figure these people out? If we keep them down there below the Rio Grande, that stuff would just dry up. Well, almost all of it. That would be good. But they don't care. So, in the meantime, hordes of people crossing the Rio Grande River and the rest of the border all the way up to Tijuana and come through and try to do all that they want. We have no choice but to take our border back, and that's what Governor Abbott's been doing with putting the Texas National Guard down there, Texas Department of Public Safety down there. They had boats in the Rio Grande the other day with 240 M240 Bravo machine guns on them. A show of force. They hopefully never have to use them. But when you got someone pointing a weapon at you, that's a serious matter. Other thing I wanted to talk about this morning was FCC nominee. Her name is Gigi Sohn, Sohn, and she should be gone. This lady is totally against the First Amendment. She's a political hack, and the Biden administration is trying to put her in as the chairwoman of the Federal Communications Commission. If you didn't know, FCC was created in 1934. It only has 4 members. Okay, 4 members, and what they do is they regulate all airways for radio, TV, internet throughout the country. Everything that has some type of communication to the public is under the auspices of the FCC. But she's on record of not liking conservatives. She's been very, very vocal with her tweets. Remember, I'm tweet free, Twitter free. I don't care for the platform. I don't care about the person that founded it. I'm glad he's gone, doing other things. But she scrubbed her tweets, try to make her more appetitable. But she's been very vocal. She's against Sinclair radio broadcasting and the Fox News channel. Whenever they were asking her at one of her confirmation hearings about Section 230 for the Federal Communications Act of 1986, she wouldn't even answer the questions. If she's going to be open and honest and run that very important agency or commission, she needs to answer these questions so we know what she stands for. I mean, from what we say, it's a First Amendment issue with her. She does not believe in the freedom of speech. Well, let me retract that. She believes Democrats have a freedom of speech and Republicans don't have the freedom of speech. Because every time a Republican speaks, a Democrat labels it as hate speech and biased speech. That's how the Democrats play. But we're for free speech. We don't care. Well, you get out there and you look at a protest. Most of the time you see protests, you see liberals and Democrat people, they'll go out there and tear everything apart and destroy it. Republicans, how often you actually see a Republican protest? You know why? Because most Republicans are like, I got to go to work, I got to fend for my family, put food on the table, pay my bills, and then they run for office. But Democrats, they and their union buddies, they'll put off these big billboards and stuff, and you go out and picket and stuff like that, and cause a ruckus all over the place instead of doing their job and going to work. Or they probably, I'm not going to go there. But so if you look up this lady, her name is Gigi Sohn, Sohn. Okay, and see some of the stuff that she stands for, and you're like, she shouldn't be here. She shouldn't even be nominated for stuff like this. Okay, they keep at it over and over and over again. Remember, Jen Psaki the other day said that the cause of all the crime is the pandemic. She's full of it. She doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, so we're at the almost 25-minute mark. So I'm about to sign off for today for this podcast. Don't forget, I've been gaining subscribers and viewers. Don't forget to get out there in the top right-hand corner. You can subscribe to the podcast on Rumble. That'd be great. I really appreciate that. For Saturday's podcast, I'm planning still. It will be at 10 o'clock on this Saturday. I'm not going to take a venture out and try to go to a political rally to take pictures, because I can't believe I even tried. I should have just did it at 10 a.m. the other day. But I was trying. What I probably should have tried to do a mobile broadcast and just stay out there and just walk a half mile to get to to the place that they blocked off all the parking and stuff. But yeah, so stay tuned for the live broadcast on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. only on Rumble. So if you're on YouTube waiting for a live, you ain't gonna get it. Matter of fact, if you're watching me on YouTube or Podbean, if you go back to the main Rumble page where I'm at, you'll see all my live broadcasts because they're posted after the broadcast is over, so you get a chance to see what I spoke about that day. All right, I'm going to bring an update on the filing here in Texas on Saturday also. So the day is Tuesday. Matter of fact, if you didn't know, Pearl Harbor Day. So if you get a chance, just reflect on what happened that day and what happened after. Okay. So in the Monday, in the 48 hours after I did my live, I found out about 4 or 5 people already filed for the primaries, both Democrats and Republicans here in the state of Texas. So go out there if you want to see. There's a link on the Secretary of State's page for the state of Texas, where you can see who all is filing to run. But I'll give you all an update on that on Tuesday. I know here in Coryell County, we on county officials, we have a race between County Commissioner seat 4 with Ray Ashby. He's got an opponent now, and County Judge Joey Faji versus the Roger Miller County Judge, and Cecilia, I can't think of her name, Cecilia something, and she just filed yesterday to run. So that's a little bit of an update. So we'll go over more of it on Saturday morning. If, like always, if you have something you want to tell me, leave a comment in the podcast, or email me at JP8Report@gmail.com. And so I'll see y'all later. Catch y'all on the flip side. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report. I'm out.